Hey my friends, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. Today, I'm here to show you a budget-friendly human hair wig by Emma Hairpiece. I've done a ton of reviews for Emma Hairpiece. I've shown you a lot of wigs by them. What I love about Emma Hairpiece is that they carry budget-friendly human hair wigs, Remy human hair wigs. Their wigs are actually really great for the price. I'm just amazed that they're able to offer such low prices for human hair. I know some of you would love to wear human hair, but the price is usually cost prohibitive for you, but maybe not Emma Hairpiece. If you want to know more about this piece right here, it's a Remy human hair wig, retailing for about, I have it on my computer, which timed out on me, $349, and I have a 10% off discount for you. If you've ever priced human hair wigs, you know that is an incredible price. If you want to know more about this wig, then stick around. I'll tell you all about her. Now, I would like to thank Emma Hairpiece. They did send me this wig so that I could show all of you. I'm always very transparent when I'm reviewing a piece that I've been gifted because I think that's important context. If you're new to my channel, you have no reason to trust that I'm going to give you an honest review. If you are someone who's been around for a while, then you know I'm not going to willfully mislead you. I will never tell you that a wig is great if I don't think you should purchase it. There are some challenges with this piece. It is budget friendly after all. Most times you will find Remy human hair wigs retailing for well over $1,000, $1,500, even $2,000. So to find one that is under $350 is incredible. And you will be making some concessions with this piece. And I'll make sure to explain all of those in this video. Let's take a look at this one from all sides. I want you to bear in mind, I have washed this wig and it is air dried. This is how she air dried. No heat, no product. She air dried with a really beautiful, very soft wave. Very, very natural. I know many of us have bio hair that looks really similar to this. One thing that has really struck me about this piece is that it is very fine. The hair on here is super fine. Super lightweight hair, kind of what sometimes people will refer to as fine, thin hair. This reminds me so much of my bio hair, I can't even tell you. All the way down to the fact that it is pretty light density up on the very top here. It's like they really plucked a lot. So it's a bit thicker and fuller back here and a lot lighter up here. Now, this could be a pro and this could be a con. For those of you who are brand new to wig wearing and you've been losing your hair for a while, especially if you have androgenic alopecia, otherwise known as female pattern hair loss, otherwise known as the same exact hair loss that I have, this could actually feel very, very natural to you because it's so much lighter up here. I mean, they kind of plucked the heck out of it on the top, to be honest with you. And that's where I lost my hair in the beginning. It was all on the top of my head. It gradually expanded out, but it all started right up in here. So if you have not been losing your hair for a while, or if you've been wearing wigs for quite some time and you've gotten used to having more hair on your head, this actually might feel pretty sparse to you. But if you're overwhelmed by wigs all the time and you always feel like every wig you put on your head has too much hair, you actually could be rejoicing at the construction of this one. The other thing I want you to notice, which I'm sure you've already noticed, is you can kind of see the knotting. I'm going to get real close for you guys. So one of the things that you will find with budget-friendly pieces is the fact, I keep thinking that the light got really dim on my camera. If it did, I apologize. I will show you this color outside. So one of the things that typically is a concession that you have to make with more budget-friendly pieces is that they don't usually have bleached knots, or they have very, very lightly bleached knots. And what that is trying to explain this to the new wig wearer, all of these hair fibers are tied into the cap. They're either sewn in or tied in. When there is lace features like the lace front, the lace top, those are tied into the cap. And just like you knot something, you tie a string and you knot it when you're sewing, that's what they do here. When they don't bleach those knots, you can kind of see them. Bleaching knots can make them look more realistic, but it can also make them weaker, and therefore your wig may not last as long. It could shed sooner than it might because those knots have been weakened by the bleach. It's sort of a trade-off. One thing that you can do with knots that you can see if you're bothered by it is just take a little bit of face powder and dab it right on the knots. Let me actually demonstrate that for you. Hold on. Now, I normally wouldn't use a big brush like this, but this is just what I have down here with me right now. And I just want to give you the idea of what I mean. So you can take a pressed powder, you can take a loose powder. I would use a smaller brush than this, but then you just dab that powder on the knots, and what it does is it blurs those knots. Now, you know, it's not as simple necessarily as taking any powder that you happen to have on hand. I tend to like to use a powder that's just a little bit lighter than my own skin tone, the powder that I would use on my face for the knots, but that's something that you will experiment with and figure out what works for you. But if you're looking at this piece and you want to buy it because it's more in your price range than most other human hair wigs that you've seen, but you're worried about those knots, that's how you take care of those knots. That's how I take care of those knots. It really does help. Now let's talk about this cap construction. This is a 13 by 6 inch lace frontal. That means that the lace goes all the way beyond the ears. It does come uncut, so you will have to cut that lace. It was about this long. I do have a video showing how to cut the lace. I'll make sure that's linked below. Let's take a look at what I mean by a 13 inch lace front. Sometimes you'll see them referred to as frontal. That just means that the lace goes all the way beyond the ears. It is not attached to cap, which does mean that if you don't cut it back super far on the sides, then you may have to adhere it with an adhesive. I cut the lace very far back. I actually use my own bio hair right here. As you can see, I buzz most of my hair off, but I don't buzz just this little tiny bit so that I can blend it with lace frontals and I don't have to adhere them. I'll show you when I put it back on that it is cut back well beyond here. When you're cutting a lace frontal, if you cut it back as far as I do, you will cut off some of the hair. That is a little bit of the scary part of it, but it's no big deal. You don't need that if you're not going to keep all that lace. We've got all of this on the top. That's parting space. That's the 6 inches. So it says it's 13 by 6. That gives you a lot of parting flexibility. We have combs at the side. There is a little hook in here so that you can put a band on here. I think it came with a band. This fits me really snugly though, so I don't need the band. We have a comb in the back, and then there's actually lace back here that you do have to cut as well. I think theoretically that means you could adhere the nape and wear this up. I don't have a lot of success adhering the nape of wigs, but it's there in case you want to give that a shot. And we've got closed wefting and hook adjusters. That's inside the cap. Let me show you what I mean. So basically we've got lace that goes all the way beyond. This lace is all down here. Now, because of how long this lace is, if I didn't have any bio hair right here, let me see if I can tuck my bio hair out of the way. I could take this lace and not cut it back as far, then I could glue it down and that would mimic a hairline. For somebody with no bio hair at all, a lace frontal can be really, really useful in that regard. But for someone with bio hair like me, who doesn't want to glue my lace down, I cut it way back. I pull my own bio hair out so that I can blend it back. You can't see that lace. And the rest of it lays flat so I don't have to adhere it. So a lace frontal has a lot of flexibility, but until you learn how best to cut it for your own hairline, it can be a little challenging for a new wig wearer. Now this wig comes in 3 cap sizes, small, medium, and large. They do have some specs at their website if you need a little help determining what size cap would work best for you. I have on the medium cap. I was able to cinch this in just a little bit. I do have, well, I used to have a 22-inch circumference. I've lost 70 pounds in the last couple of years, and my circumference is smaller. I think it's about 21 and a half now. I actually have to double check that, but I have the medium cap on and it's fitting me really well. A little bit of extra room. So if you have a 22-inch circumference, I think this should fit you. It does say that it will go up to a 22.5. But I would say this cap fits me pretty snugly. There's a little bit of extra room over the top, but not a lot. So I definitely think these are probably running smaller, a bit smaller than the measurements indicate. So definitely check out their return policy if you're unsure what size will fit you. I also think you can reach out to them for advice on that topic as well. Now, before I get outside to show you this color so you can see what it looks like outside, I want to give you kind of my final summary thoughts on this piece. I think the hair quality is phenomenal. It feels incredible. It feels so soft and silky. I love the way that it air dries with a very natural wave, very slight frizz, not much at all. I think that is super realistic. So if you're someone who really doesn't want to have to style your wigs all the time, maybe it's one of the reasons why you've been nervous to try human hair. I don't think this one's going to require much in the way of styling. I think you're going to be able to air dry and wear this one if this is the look that you like. But you can always flat iron it. You can always take a hot air brush to it. You can always curl it. It's human hair after all. I do think that the front is very thin and sparse. That could be something that has a little bit of variability. There is another wig reviewer who has reviewed this piece. I think they've got some information at their website, and I know she shared it on Instagram as well. And so I can't quite remember what hers was like on top, but just keep that in mind. I also think that the color job isn't high end. It's not terrible, but it's not a high-end color job. You know, you can see with some of these highlights go all the way up to the top, and then you've got the rooting that comes down. All things that, in my opinion, make this look incredibly realistic. I don't think anybody's going to look at your hair if you have this wig on and think you're wearing a wig. I do think, especially if you put powder on those knots, I think it's really realistic looking. But if you're used to higher end pieces or even synthetics with some of their really great coloring, this one might feel a little bit budget to you, because it is. So I think this could be a great wig for a new wig wearer or an experienced wig wearer who's just looking for something a little more budget friendly, that you don't have to kind of worry a lot about. You can wear it out and about and, you know, do whatever you'd like. I do think that you're going to be able to pull this one up. It's not super long, but if you wanted to, here's where you can really see that color job. I think the color could be better, I'll be honest with you guys, but it is not an expensive wig, so you know, at some point. But I think if you want to pull some hair down and pull it in a low pony, I do think you're going to be able to do that with it as well. So I think there's going to be some flexibility. But there you go, a budget-friendly bob human hair wig, Remy human hair, from Emma Hairpiece. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's get outside so you can see this color outside. And I do have a link in the description and a discount code that will save you 10% on any purchase at Emma Hairpiece. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon. All right, friends, here we go with this color outside. No wind, or I could show you how it blows, but there's zero wind out here today. You see that color up close? It's kind of a light auburn, kind of a mix between a light brown with some auburn and blonde, and then there's that rooting. Has a warm root. Again, I can't stress enough that even though this is more budget, it's so natural looking. I mean, seriously, I think sometimes people are worried that wigs look too perfect or not as much like, you know, your bio hair used to look, so therefore it feels wiggy or looks unnatural to you. So while I think there's some things about this piece that could be better for the price, I think it's really, really good and really realistic. You will have to make the best decision for you based on what you're looking for, but I definitely know I have some wig sisters who will feel as though this mimics their bio hair really well. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.